So, we're here to do a little preview today for something I've got planned to start over the next probably month or two, at some point here. Um, for me, this is something that, while certainly not new, is new to me. It was something I had heard of back when it first came out, but never had any interest or got into, in part because the Harry Potter series at the time had no immediate draw for me. I never read the books. I never saw. Well, I probably saw. I think some event I was on. There was a movie night I went to that looked at the first Harry Potter film around shortly after the time it came out. But yeah, it didn't jump out at me much. I was actually into exploring Lord of the Rings at the time, and this is gotta go down. There we go. Um, so I didn't immediately hop on the Harry Potter thing. I was a little bit old. I was just going away. Um, well, that's not true. The first Harry Potter. Well, that's where did I put my timeline? It's still in my bag. That's not gonna help. Well, I guess the first Harry Potter book came out in '97, I think. I didn't hear about it immediately. Um, its fame grew as more and more books came out. One came out every year for a while. And by the time we got to um, 2000, Goblet of Fire had released. So, with the Goblet of Fire and the previous books kicking around, uh, it really seemed to get an extra spike in popularity. They announced that they were working on films. There was more merchandise here, there, and everywhere. And they actually put together like a package where you could get the first four books, even though the series wasn't finished. You could buy a complete set of the first four books that I used to see everywhere. That was still available even after they released the fifth book. Um, could you go to my bag and grab my little notebook out of the small section?
Where's it?
In my bag.
Where's
in
your
the
book?
kitchen. In the small section. My little notebook. Anyway. So yeah, that was my sort of background with Harry Potter. Once my kids started to get a little bit older, I thought, well, I've heard good things about the series, some pros, some cons. I think I understand it a little bit better now, and I wasn't in the midst of some other things. I'd tried a couple of other fantasy series after Lord of the Rings, never found one that really worked for me. But I figured, right here.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Um, where was I? Yeah, so I read through it in advance, and then read it to them, and they seemed to enjoy it, and so we got the films and things together. So let's flip away to something more interesting, hopefully, than my face. Where are we? Oh, that's all gonna get knocked over now. This thing is. There we go.
There it goes.
Oh, there it's all
I'm sorry,
avalanching, just like everything I touch lately.
No, it was me, not
There we
you.
go.
It was me, not you.
Anyway, here's a little timeline I put together from what I can gather. I didn't obviously finish out all the films, but Philosopher's Stone, first book, came out in 1997. Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire over the 3 years. Then there was the biggest gap between any of the releases, between Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix. And that's where the merchandising seemed to really take off, was in this 3-year gap. And this is where the Harry Potter trading card game fell. Right around the time they started releasing the films. And so yeah, when this card game was released, and throughout its entire run, the Order of the Phoenix didn't exist yet in terms of a product that people were aware of, that they could buy and knew the story of. It was just the first four books, and the films were starting to release. And that caused a problem for the game, from what I've gathered. So here's a bit of a close-up of that period between 2000 and 2003. Some of the highlights. I made a little error here, but that's when the Sorcerer's Stone, the film for the first book, came out. So, August 2001, in the summer, the base set released for this game. Quidditch Cup released the same month as Sorcerer's Stone hit theaters, the first movie. March, Diagon Alley, Adventure at Hogwarts, the fourth set. All these four are based off the first book. And the art was inspired partially by the covers. Cover arts for these. And then Chamber of Secrets released in October, just before the Chamber of Secrets movie. The month before, basically. And all this is before the Order of the Phoenix book came out. So, it all had to interact with the first two movies. And in preparation for the release of Chamber of Secrets, but based around the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, the game was quite popular. At its height, it was the second best-selling card game for a little while. But because the movies were coming out, they wanted the look of the characters to be defined by the films. So other media that they'd come out with for the Harry Potter trading card game sort of got pushed to the background. I heard that was one of the reasons why, even though the game was fairly successful, it is a starter level product. So it's not as complicated as Magic the Gathering. But still a fun game, easy to get into, and represents some of the characters and ideas quite well. And so I've been doing some research on this. I still have some more research to do. But my outline for the plan of what I hope to do starting soon is to go through and take a look at each set independently. We've got this starter set here. Way back when we first started doing videos for this channel, I had a few booster packs as well. And we opened those. I've got the wrappers in the front here, the pack arts. There's the owl, the kids in the boat going across to the castle, and the sorting hat. I had one of each. Didn't get any foils, so I suspect that my source had a bunch of packs that had been weighed or something, because these packs, they do have foil treatments, but yeah, the packs, from what I've heard, can be weighed, and so if you're buying loose packs, sometimes you don't get anything directly with the foil cards in it. So, I'm doing research. My thought is we'll do the base set. I've got the 2-player starter. We can open it up. Probably this will be the next video we do on Harry Potter, is to open this up and try and play a game and explore it a little bit with that, and maybe enhance these with some of the other base set cards that I've gotten from the booster packs. Plus a couple of other singles that I just picked up here and there because they were affordable and looked interesting to me. Some of these foil treatments are insane. Like, I grabbed this one because it was the art I remembered from a cover of an old Scry magazine. And it's got a subtle little, stars and lightning bolts foiling pattern. But then you look at the holo here for Ron Weasley. You can barely see Ron at all. It's so just foiled, chromed, whatever you want to call it. The holo treatment is nuts. Yeah, it's really hard to see the image of Ron himself on there. But most of the cards, you don't have that issue. Fairly small set. There's, 116 cards in the base set. And then after we do our look at the base set, I've got booster boxes for the next 3 sets, which are all smaller expansion sets. Quidditch Cup and a new Quidditch lesson type. So here we've got, what is it? Potions is the green icon. Brown one here is for, well, let's just show lessons, shall we? we've got Care of Magical Creatures, Charms, Potions, Transfiguration. Quidditch Cup added Quidditch Lessons as a 5th lesson type and card type. That was the first expansion. Then you got Diagon Alley, which added location cards. Then Adventures at Hogwarts made adventure cards like this far more prevalent and some would say powerful, I believe, a lot of them as well. And that was all the ones from the first film. And then they were working on sets for Chamber of Secrets. Unfortunately, due to the, I guess, licensing issues and fears over conflicts with the film, that got kiboshed. And the print run was small for Chamber of Secrets. It was still very popular because it introduced a lot of new characters and things. And it was slightly bigger, 140 card set, whereas the smaller expansions in between had been 80 card sets. And yeah, new things like the Basilisk. There's a Howler. I've only got a few samples from this set. It's definitely the hardest of the 5 to find stuff from, especially sealed product. There's Keeping Dobby Quiet, Dobby's very popular edition. There's the icon for the Quidditch cards. And here's one of the new adventures they introduced for it. A fairly strong one from what I hear. So yeah, so we'll go through and open the booster boxes for sets 2, 3, and 4. And then use those to hopefully build some new decks and try playing with those as well. I haven't decided what we're going to do for Chamber of Secrets yet. I don't have any sealed product at the moment. I hope to find a little bit, because it is quite universe expanding to add another whole book to the thing. I can only imagine what it would have been like. Well, no, I can do more than imagine now, because there's actually a website where fan community have developed sets complete with art and stuff.
What's
that,
the page called? Because maybe I can find it.
I don't know. That's the thing. I would have had to have looked it up, and I don't have it ready, so I'm just going to throw out the mention.
That's the one that makes the
No.
no. Oh,
No, it's something completely different.
Okay.
That's
What about hers? What is hers again?
I'm not ready to discuss that yet.
Well, let me know when you're ready.
Anyways.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Anyway. So, for Pete's sake. We are very unprofessional this evening.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, the Harry Potter trading card game. Something a little different, something new for me, and something I'm anxious to dig into, but I do have a little bit more research to do. There's a few cards here that I picked up just because they, partially, good old Norbert. I mean, it's a cute character. It's also a card that looked like it would be useful and wasn't too expensive. So I think I grabbed a single of that one. I grabbed a few singles, and then a lot of this was flushed out with the packs as well. Steel Claws looked like it would be pretty good, being able to do extra damage with your creatures. I think I'd grabbed a copy or two of Wingardium Leviosa, and then opened additional copies in multiple packs of the 3. So I'm well stocked on that card, for example. So, as part of my research, I found a channel called Into the Flue, which demonstrated some deck ideas from some of the old products. And the proprietor of that site recently started doing a magazine series. So this should be the first couple copies.
Can I know the name now so I can go and put that in the description? Or
Into the Flue is the name of the channel.
Into the Flue?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, apparently we're gonna post a link in the
into the FL.
Oh. This should be the first couple of
Is that the one?
magazines that she's working on to talk about the card game and those series.
This is it.
So, looks like, yes.
There, I've subscribed. So now
this is an interesting envelope. Anyway, let's see what we've got here. This should be the first 2 copies of the magazine. So the one for the initial base set and the one for okay. So this would be for base set. Unpublished art, top 10 card picks, base set topics, issue 1. So I'm going to have to go through this and learn more about the game myself before I start making the videos. But I just wanted to give them a shout out, because this, from what I've heard, looks like a pretty good product, and it's going to be running right along. It's sort of issued one every 2 months, so I think in February they're going to be doing the Diagon Alley one, and then in April will be Adventures at Hogwarts, and then in June they'll wrap up with the Chamber of Secrets issue.
Should be in the description now.
So
Hopefully they can see that.
Should be started into the series well before June, but I'm going to be using these as some of the reference I've got as well. Oh, look at that! They've got what their covers are going to look like.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's for Diagon Alley, for Adventures at Hogwarts, and then Chamber of Secrets, or at least what they're projecting their covers are going to look like. So that's neat. They also sent one of these little Harry Potter TCG booster pack zine, 1 issue, which comes with a little pack of random cards from their own collection, just some singles, so that'll be neat. I got a few more cards to add to my little binder here, and a little bit more for my research, whatever this is going to be about specifically, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we got Care of Magical Creatures lesson. Lessons are always good. We got Incarcifores. I'm glad we didn't have to fight that one, Harry whispered as they stepped carefully over one of its massive legs. Choose one of your opponent's creatures to play and discard it. Okay, so that's Charms. Still getting used to these. No, Charms is the blue one. Transfiguration lesson. So this is a transfiguration spell. And it's a common, which is a circle. And there's no expansion set. So it's from base set. This is one I didn't have, I'm fairly certain. There's, again, 2001. The first 2 sets were released in 2001, as I mentioned in the timeline section there. And then all 3 of the rest came out in 2002. This was a busy time for the trading card industry, actually, because you also had what was going on in 2001. That's when Decipher lost its license for Star Wars collectible card game, and gained the license for the Lord of the Rings. So that was all happening at the same time. I was going to look up which sets of Magic the Gathering were out at this time, but yeah, it was a busy time and a chaotic time in the trading card industry. And like I said, this was a popular little game, but it wasn't that long-lived. So you see this one's out of 80, and it's got the icon above there. That would be a Quidditch Cup icon. So this is from the second set. Another common. For the rest of the turn, your spell cards need 5 less power to play. That's interesting. You can only play 2 cards per turn. So you'd play this on turn 3, and then you could play something that cost 8, I guess? Up to 8? Or, yeah. Anyway, that's a common. And again, that was Charms. There's this Quidditch one.
That's cool.
Another common. searching for the snitch from Quidditch Cup. Way up above them, Harry was gliding over the game, squinting about for some sign of the snitch. Search your deck. You may take a Quidditch lesson or a card that needs Quidditch power from your deck. Show it to your opponent and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Way up above them. Okay, I already read that. Yeah. So there was a Quidditch Cup card. Vicious Wolf. I do think I have one of these. I think that was on page 2 here. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, this looks like it's from the base set. Yeah, another common. But if you're going to play creatures, you need some creatures. Wizard Crackers. Reveal the top card of your deck if it's a lesson.
Oh, hey, thanks, G Trejo. We're just gifted 5 memberships.
Put it into play. If it isn't, put the card in your hand. Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. Wow.
That's awesome. Appreciate that.
Harry pulled a wizard's cracker with Fred, and it didn't just bang. It went off with a blast like a cannon. So again, that's from the base set.
This is nice art. I like it.
Oh, look, it's another Wingardium Leviosa. That's the card that I said I'd picked up a few, and then we also opened multiples in packs. We are very well stocked with Wingardium Leviosa. It does seem to be useful. Only costs 1, and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to you by your opponent's creatures. So, hey, buys you some time if they've got a bunch of creatures built up. The club flew suddenly out of the troll's hand, rose high, up into the air. And another base set. So far, we've just had Quidditch Cup and base set cards. You never know what you're going to get when you get a random stack. Illegibilius. Look at your opponent's hand, choose one of those cards, and discard it. Then we've got homework. Put 2 lesson cards from your hand into play. Put up the 2. Yeah. Interesting. So this could accelerate things a little bit. Like I said, you can only play 2 cards per turn. You could play 2 lessons just with your 2 cards, or you could play something else, then play this, and put 2 lessons in as well. So it does.
Welcome in, JR. Hope you're having a good night.
And finally, we have a Quidditch lesson. This is also from Quidditch Cup. Didn't check what set this was from.
These are really neat looking cards. I do like them.
They are neat looking. Yeah, this is from base set. This one's from Quidditch Cup. So they've got the different numbering systems on them. And this one's got the little expansion symbol. But they're the same overall design with the book there. Different colors.
We can see if Luella would be up for trying the game out sometime.
Oh, perhaps. I think she's aware of it.
Yeah.
These are all base set but 2, I believe. There was this one from Quidditch Cup and this one from Quidditch Cup. There we go. So a nice little handful of
I like the
assorted commons.
The one when they're playing lessons. Quidditch. That one's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean the arts from some of these are definitely, you can definitely tell they're inspired from the book arts and things like that, and not from the films, because these were coming out, like I said, the first 2 sets. The first one released before the first movie, even the second one around the same time the first movie came out.
They do have a version that's linked to the movies, like another game that's linked to the
movies. Oh yeah,
there
are other games, but this is it's unrelated to this. All right, so I'm gonna have to add some of this as well. I do have one card randomly at the back here, aside from the ones from Chamber of Secrets, which is from Adventures at Hogwarts. And that's this little Bewitched Snowballs. Do 3 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice, and then draw a card. It's another Charms thing. twins. The Weasley twins were. I had one, but I think it's gone.
I'm gonna go get a ginger ale,
Were
that's why I'm asking.
punished for bewitching several snowballs so that they followed Quirrell around, bouncing off the back of his turban.
Do you want a ginger ale?
A ginger ale, sure, why not? So yeah, I think that's just, as far as I understand it, the game itself, you shuffle up and you get your starting hand. I think it's a fairly small one. I think it's only 5 cards. You're trying to run your opponent's deck out, so that's how your life is managed, basically. And you get 2 plays per turn, and it can be most things. Any sort of spell counts as 1, or a transfiguration lesson, playing a location. The only things that cost you both your actions are if you want to play another character or if you want to play an adventure. Those 2 things, I think, are the only ones which count as multiple plays. But you could play a creature in a spell or another lesson and an item or what have you. Now let's just go through and show some more of what I've got. Anyway, count the number of charms lessons you have in play. Do that much damage to a creature of your choice. This one looked handy. It's one of the ones I grabbed. Same here with a malevolent mixture. 10 damage to your opponent. Considering your deck is only, 60 cards, I assume. That's a big chunk of damage. So that could be quite powerful. And you can see the rarity symbol down here is a star. That's for a rare, basically. If you look at the foil I showed you before, the star is sort of in a black circle. So I think that indicates this is the hollow version. Is it the same on this?
Oh my goodness, I'm tired.
Yeah, there it is. So any sort of a foil treatment, and it has that alternate symbol. This one was a rare. Norbert's a rare. Titilando is a rare.
Hey Ryan, how's it going?
Do 3 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice. Then your opponent chooses 3 cards in his or her hand and discards them. It seems like it could be quite annoying. Yeah, welcome, Ryan. Transfiguration exam. Discard all creatures from play. And then this is an uncommon. The little square in the corner here. Apparate. Discard the adventure your opponent has played. You don't get the reward. You just dip out, basically. Dragonheart Wand as an item. Play this card only if you have cards in play which provide at least 2 charms. If you play this card and you already have a wand in play, discard the old one, and it provides 3 charms. And you need to have a total of 5 lessons total,
I like that
including
card.
charms. So
The art's nice.
yeah, most of the arts on these are pretty well done. Some of the artists too were familiar to me. Just sort of not paying attention on these first page to the artists, but we'll see as we go, I guess. Again, here's Hiding from Snape as an adventure. And this one, the little star, is an uncommon. This is awkward.
Do we have any of this to open right now or no?
Like I say, we already opened the 3 packs of base set we had. So unless we're ready to dig into the deck, which I'm not soon, but not.
No, I don't mean
quite
today. I
yet.
mean, like, did we buy any booster boxes or anything like that of this game to open or no?
Yes, we have booster boxes of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th sets.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, we'll start with the starter for base set and try and learn to play the game and get an inkling with this, and then maybe work in some of the single cards that I got from those first 3 booster packs and this and whatever we've got. And then we'll open the first expansion, the Quidditch Cup, booster box, see what we get, and then maybe build some decks with that and play.
You want,
And then repeat the process with the second expansion, the third expansion, and so on.
okay.
Um,
Did you want me to put that in a glass? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
I don't know. It'll probably make it easier. Nurture. Spell. Remove all damage counters from all your creatures. Isn't he beautiful? Hagrid murmured. There's good old Norbert again. So this will help him keep him healthy. Avi Fours. Choose one of your opponent's Care of Magical Creatures lessons in play and discard it. And we've got Bulbilius. Do 1 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice, then draw a card. There's a Boa Constrictor creature. Brazil, here I come. Thanks, amigo. After he let the snake out right before his adventure begins, basically. We got a Foul Brew. Do 2 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice. Hello, Corey. Thanks for coming. Barrels of slimy stuff stood on the floor in jars of herbs, dried roots, and bright powders lined the walls. Bundles of feathers, strings of fangs, snarled claws hung from the ceilings. And Ron Spencer is an artist I'm familiar with from Magic the Gathering. There's a healing spell from the hospital wing. To play this card, discard one of your potions lessons from play. Shuffle up to 8 non-healing cards from your discard pile into your deck. So it's a way to get more cards back into your deck. Healing spells. Lost Notes. Choose one of your opponent's items or lessons in play and discard it. So you might, if they're having trouble finding a certain type of lesson, or if they've got an annoying item, this could be handy. Then we've got a Pewter Cauldron. To play this card, discard one of your potions lessons from play, and it provides 3. So similar to the Dragonfang Wand. Then we've got Potions Mistake. To play this card, discard 3 of your potions lessons from play. Choose one of your opponent's creatures or items in play and discard it. That's pretty rough if you have to discard 3 of your lessons to get rid of 1 card of your opponent's. I mean, there are situations, I suppose, but that seemed pretty steep. And we've got a Scottish Stag by Doug Chaffee. Path became almost impossible to follow because the trees were so thick. And Snape's question. Do 4 damage to your opponent. Your opponent may prevent this by showing you a potions lesson from his or her hand. I don't know, sir, said Harry. Snape's lips curled into a sneer. There's the Steel Claw. Again, if you're going to play creatures, you might as well get extra damage out of them. All your creatures do damage to your opponent. Now, creatures don't work like they do in Magic in this. It's a rather simplified system. Do 3 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice. Vermilius. So here's, a typical creature. I think we've got one of those in that as well. The Vicious Wolf. So it's got health 3 and damage each turn 3. So if you play a creature in this game, just on each of your turns, basically, it deals its 3 damage to your opponent. So they mill that many cards off their deck as long as this is in play. And then its health is how much damage you have to do to kill it. And unless you play a card like the Nurture that we looked at before to heal your creatures, health doesn't automatically restore at the end of turn or anything like it does in Magic. And creatures can't directly attack each other unless they made a card that allows that I'm not aware of. So, yeah. So you just play the creatures out, and they start hitting your opponent each turn, which is pretty rough. So it is a popular strategy from what I'm aware of. And then there's the Wingardium Leviosa's and our lessons. So I might as well start putting some of these in here. Throw this one at the bottom since it's technically from the other
I
set.
do like how her magazines have like how to play.
Yeah, she was very happy to let me share that she was producing these and show the covers, and perhaps a page or two.
Oh.
But I haven't decided what I'm going to be.
Into the Flu Dueling League, which got a QR code there.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about that, so
I don't know either.
I'm not going to be showing the interiors of the magazines. I may show a page or two once I've had a chance to go through them and see what might be useful and not. But for the time being, I'm content to just show you the covers and let you know about them. So if anyone else is interested, you know, you can go inquire. She's the three latter ones haven't been released yet, and she may still have extra copies of the others.
10 transfiguration cards worth adding to your deck, so
there
definitely.
You go. It's giving some tips on what cards are good. And like I said, these ones are Quidditch lessons, so I'll put these at the back here. The Vicious Wolf.
Oh, and then this is oh, we could probably show this. I don't know if they can read the QR code off the phone.
I'd rather not until I have a chance to go through it.
Well, this is for her to access her Discord, YouTube, and Instagram. And other things, so I don't know.
I don't know, some of these are pretty stuffed. I'm going to have to go through and sort this later. Anyway, so I've got some reading material and some more research that I can do here. And I just wanted to do a little bit of history background on the game from what I've discovered so far. And I'm looking forward to actually trying it out. So these are looking like they will be interesting. And again, original sketches, deck lists and gameplay, Quidditch Cup expansion, and game strategy and more. So again, each one of these is going to be include information about a specific expansion by and large. So this was the December issue, and that's the series of 5. This was something that she had done previously. Just as a little hopper. Booster pack zine. Not sure what else is in this. Like I said, I don't really want to show too much. Yeah, it's more stuff I'm going to have to read through. Anyway. But that was a neat little addition for sure. Pardon my voice. Things have been a little bit off this week. We got a bit of a bug going through the house apparently. So, and not a whole lot of details or time. Again, you're catching me in between shifts, so I can't be on here long. I should probably sort these by order. It's 90, 92, 111, 112, 93, and where's the number?
What is our plan for Monday?
110. Plan for Monday.
I can't remember. We talked about it.
We talked about Thomas has been asking to learn how to play Magic the Gathering, so we might do sort of a tutorial with him and, you know, try and teach him how to play. Go through learning the game. I've got some decks that I made for that purpose years ago and have been sitting in a box. And we've also got other things like the that 2-player starter one that I showed about a month ago. So we might try either of those or both, depending how it goes. It seems like, I don't know, a lot of the characters and fancy cards seem to have lower numbers.
I like the back of the card game, though.
Yeah, the back of the card is nice. Just as a little summary. not summary, but I think it's just well designed. It gets the idea across, ties it right into, again, the books primarily, but fairly recognizable. That's not how I really pictured his scar being dead center in his forehead, but
I know, right?
it certainly makes it easy to spot.
That's how the book has it, though, but it's down, not across like that.
Yeah, and that's Prisoner of Azkaban. It's more or less looks to be fairly center in that one. What does it show here? It's up more off to the side here in the Chamber of Secrets one. And ooh, that's hard to tell from that angle. I would think that's more off to the side.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on the art.
And
The Boy Who Lived, says Corey.
yeah. And like I said, the Order of the Phoenix here, this book hadn't even released yet when through this entire game's run. So it makes you stop and think when you realize what state the height of its popularity, I'd say, was already hit. I don't remember Harry Potter, it rode high on popularity for a long time. But as a book series, it was already very big before the films came out.
Yeah.
When those 4 had released, especially. I don't remember hearing much about it before the 4th book came out. But I probably did. I was aware of it before then.
When did the books come out? What years? Sorry. Because when I was in college, we had to read it for children's lit class.
So, 97, the first book came out, 98, second, 99, and 2000. So one each year for the first 4 books. Then there was a 3-year break. Order of the Phoenix came out, and then every 2 years after that, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows. And I think the films wrapped up around 2010, 2011. Okay. I just didn't fill in all the movies over here.
I think we only read the first book in children's lit.
But yeah, the trading card game only really existed in this little window. I think there were supported tournaments and things into 2003 as well, but they had stopped releasing sets, stopped planning sets even, in the middle of working on Chamber of Secrets, which is why everything they had got crammed into that one set.
Would have been neat
and it was a good set from what I hear. I hear the most positive things about, in terms of set design, art, everything. I hear the best stuff about Adventures at Hogwarts and Chamber of Secrets, which of course are 2 of the hardest to find. So there we go. But I did find a booster box of Adventures at Hogwarts. It was a little bit more than the other 2 booster boxes I found. Probably about as much as both of them combined, actually. And then, but yeah, Chamber of Secrets sealed product is very expensive. So if I can find a pre-constructed deck or a pack or 2, maybe, something to open and talk about the set when we get to that one. It definitely won't be anything like a booster box because...
No. Unless you happen to find one by surprise at a thrift store or something.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. I
find.
cannot see that happening at all.
Be interesting though.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the wizard cards do things like, I think the Snape, which is one that I had my eye on as a potential, has the ability where it just adds a potion lesson. So it counts as a lesson as well as having some other effect. Whereas Ron here, whenever you play a character card, you use up 1 action to play it instead of 2. So I said characters and adventures take 2 actions to play usually. Well, Ron drops that to 1. So if that's your starting, you can pick a wizard to be your starting character, which is sort of you. And then other ones you play could be gotten rid of using other things, but your main one can't, because that represents you. So, but this one lets you play lots and lots of characters, so that can be useful for a deck strategy. There we go. That's showing some of the... You can actually see Ron a little bit better from this angle.
We forgot that we were going to have the Harry Potter game on the Switch to show that a little bit.
Oh, perhaps. Well, that was more for background ambiance than anything.
Mm.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. There was a sale recently for Hogwarts Legacy, so having the little title screen and music up, I thought might have been nice. That was just a thought. Anyhow, I have enjoyed reading through the books with the kids. We never actually finished the series. I think we got about halfway through the second last one there, the Half-Blood Prince, and then it sort of bogged out, and we didn't go back and finish. So maybe one day I'll do that with them as well. But they did seem to like the series. Then they got that's what happened too. Is they started watching the movies.
Yeah,
They got the story from
yeah.
the movies from that point on anyway. So
Abram did not like
no,
how
Abram.
the books and the movies killed off his favorite characters.
No, yeah, a lot of characters don't quite make it, and I don't want to get into. Well, I guess it's years old now, so spoilers aren't as bad a thing, but it's still something. Honestly, probably better to avoid because, like I said, it's past the time frame of this anyway. You know, but yeah, I think that's basically everything I wanted to cover regarding this as an introductory for what I'm planning to do over the next.
Okay, I have a question for
Several months, probably it'll take us.
out of the actors that played the characters in the movies, who do you think did the best job of portraying the character on film?
I am in no position to make that judgment. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan, but I have read through the books and things, but I didn't pay close attention to the descriptions or anything. A lot of the actors,
The casting was well done.
they really went all out on the films to make sure they had a very strong cast, especially in the senior characters. Obviously,
Snape.
the kids they got child actors who sort of grew into the part, and this case is awful for showing any of the other casts. The only one on here is Hagrid and McGonagall. And
Maggie
Dobby,
Smith.
who's
Oh
not
my
really
goodness,
an actor.
Maggie Smith was amazing. I love her.
She was, yes. A lot of the actors have started to pass away in recent years, which is kind of sad.
This is a recent one?
Yeah, and between the first and second film here, and then the rest of them, they also had to replace the actor for Dumbledore.
Why am I forgetting the name of Snape?
Alan Rickman.
Yes, Alan Rickman. Sorry, I know his name.
He did
I don't know
a
why.
good job for Snape too, I think.
He was
overall.
such a talented actor.
Oh
my goodness. And he could play like a villain and you'd hate him, but you'd still love watching him.
Yeah.
It's not like the kind of actor who played the villain and then you never wanted to watch his movies again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it is interesting to me, though, how just the interaction with the development of the game with the films and just that early window.
Or that one actress.
Because a lot of people say the first two films are closest to the book, and the first two films are the most, I don't know if you'd say child friendly.
What was that teacher? The one that was evil, but she was acted so nice all the time. What was her name? Umbridge. Umbridge, yes. That actress. Holy cow, she played that role well.
Well, she did a job.
She's been
in
lots of movies too.
I do recall the descriptions of her in the book are a little bit different from what you get in the movies, though.
Well, I haven't read all the books.
So, yeah.
But I think she did a good job in the movie portraying what they wanted her to do. I don't know.
I want to put away a Quidditch one. Was there a potion system? I guess there's not. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, as I understand with these two decks in the starter, which we're going to look at in the future, you got a Hermione deck and a Draco Malfoy deck. So that'll be interesting to look at. Yeah, 2 41 card decks. And I think these go up to 60. So with the cards I've got, I should be able to expand them a little. With a premium witch or wizard, decks contain duplicate cards, a playmat, rulebook, damage counters. Welcome to Hogwarts. With the Harry Potter trading card game, you join the other new wizards at school in a duel. Then you summon creatures, use magic potions, and cast spells to make their cards disappear first. If you do that, you win. The game is based on the first enchanting book in the Harry Potter series. Collect and play with your favorite characters like Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron. You'll recognize many creatures and spells from the book, but some are all new. Enter the magical world today for players ages 9 and up. And like I said, starter level, and you might recognize these icons because these were actually, this game was created and produced by Wizards of the Coast, which gotta have their information on here somewhere. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, which is the company that makes Magic the Gathering. And they made other games early on. They helped produce Pokemon in North America when it first started making their card game. But that wasn't really their game. It was just they helped produce the cards over here. They did Magic the Gathering is by far their most famous. They've also had You're Too Young to Play, LOL. Well, I am not below 9 years of age, so yeah, I can play. And so can most of our older kids. I wouldn't try this with Ezra, but any of the others would be able to if they wanted. So
Brinley would be like, open packs? That's about it.
Yeah, she'd look at the cards and throw them around. And
yeah.
She probably wouldn't try and eat them anymore. She hasn't been doing that as much lately.
No.
But
she got into one of the ETBs of trainer cards, and I'm like, what are you doing? Don't play with those. And then I took the box away and I just left the other ones for her. She's like, put away. Put cards away.
Yeah. So I think those two were doubles, and these ones were all ones I didn't have yet. Homework Illegibilis, and Carnificent, and Wizard Crackers. So that's good. Get a few more things to...
Not too many people, and that's okay. There's lots going on.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, so...
It's, yeah, if you look at goings on in the world, it's definitely a crazy time.
It's like, I do have a redirect set up, so if people want to stick around, we're going to go raid All Blue in a bit. He's doing his 1,000 subscriber celebration video, so we'll want to go over there in a bit. So if some people can stick around and join us for that, I do have the redirect set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there's my zoomed in timeline for the release of the 5 sets that were made for this game. So, for anyone who's interested in those historical elements.
And if you're interested in the magazines, check the link that's in the description.
Yeah, that's
her YouTube page.
That's her YouTube page. I think most of her contacts are done on Instagram. I don't have
Discord.
A link for that. They do have a Discord page as well.
There is.
So,
like I said, the QR code's in the book with all that stuff. I think if you could try and show it.
Yeah, well, maybe later. I want to read through first and see. I refresh my memory as to which pages you said were good to share.
Okay.
And which ones, be more careful with. So, but yeah, I'm excited to do a little bit more research. Like I said, base set topics, top 10 card picks, unpublished art, all kinds of stuff to learn about the game on these two. And I'm hoping to pick up a couple more of the others as they come out, especially if they're in a timely manner. I'm hoping this will not run into June, but I'm sure that probably the third and fourth issues will be useful to our series anyway, by the time we get there.
Yep, so.
Anyhow.
But yeah.
Looking forward to doing this at a time when I've got more time to dig into and learn to play.
Lots of stuff coming out in the future too for our streams.
Exploring more of the game. Wow. Just had a little bit of an acid thing there. Anyway.
But stay tuned, guys. Lots of stuff planned in the future.
Absolutely. And this is something that's going to be a little bit different and refreshing because, like I said, this is a game that I had heard of. I had Scribe magazines that covered it. And I don't even remember reading the articles that much. I wish I knew where they were. But I never played it myself. And up to this point. So it'll be my first time actually trying to play the game. I've watched a couple of videos as to how it's done, sort of thing. So I have an idea how it works. But I've never actually done it myself. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Anyway, should probably wrap this up for tonight.
Yep.
And yeah, hopefully, if you're interested in Harry Potter or in these playing card games in general, I hope you'll come out and join us.
We might have a big mail day video coming out next week from Roche because they Canada Post finally working again, so we can start getting mail. And of course, there's the Prismatic Evolution ZTVs that should be coming. So, lots going on. And I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think they made about 3 or so different cards that involve Dobby. And this one is the only one that's not hideously expensive. The other ones are all apparently really good in the game and highly sought after. And this is only an uncommon, so that makes it a little bit better too. But from Chamber of Secrets, even some of the uncommons are still worth $10 or so. So it's interesting. It's very popular with some circles of collectors. And like I said, there's a sort of a community support for it where they've designed further sets to flush out Chamber of Secrets and to explore what cards might have been like for the following books. I think they've already done sets for Prisoner of Azkaban, and I think they're actually started into the Goblet of Fire as well at this point. So I don't have a name for that site. I forgot to look it up in advance, but again, we'll mention that at some point once I have a chance to do a little more research. Probably. Anyhow, if you're interested, you can go digging. I'm sure you'd find it as quickly as I would. But I have run across it in the past once or twice, and it's probably been mentioned on the other channels we've talked about too. So
I'm gonna put the link in the channel.
I don't think they made a wizard card for Lockhart. Gilderoy Lockhart, Guide to Household Pests. Sorry.
Pests is their difference.
But I don't think he actually got a wizard card in this game, at least not up to what they had released.
Not too many people left, so I'm just going to throw the link in the chat for the raid.
I had in my other book a list of which cards did have wizards in which sets, wizard cards released for them. Obviously, Harry Potter being a popular titular character, I think there were 3 different Harry Potter cards released in base set, in Chamber of Secrets, and also in one of the others, probably the middle one, Adventure Diagon Alley. But Ron and Hermione each had at least 2. I think the Weasley twins, there was 2 versions of them as well. I think there was 2 versions of Hagrid, maybe even. But yeah, a lot of the teachers had a version. There was a good selection of wizard cards to choose from, anyway.
All right, so the link is in the chat. I do have the redirect on. Hopefully it works. But it is all blue, celebrating 1,000 subs tonight. So make sure you head over there, give them a like.
Yeah, and again, thanks to everybody who came out and joined us. Sorry, this is an abbreviated
it's shorter than normal
today. But yeah, we can't be opening booster boxes of things every night.
No.
So that's for sure.
No. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you all. Hope you enjoy the stream. If you're just coming in at the end, feel free to rewatch. It will be up. And
if you're a fan of the series,
and ask some questions.
You know, we're keen for input too, because like I said, my own experience is fairly recent on the series. Well, recent in the past.
Yeah.
Probably 5 or 6 years. Anyway.
All right. So, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon. Maybe on Monday, if you want to be there for Monday Night Magic. So.
Have a good night.
Bye for now. I'm trying. Oh, I almost forgot how to shut this off.